I study how families make decisions in lower income settings, especially when it comes to consumption, education, health investment, marriage, and household formation. And when I study this type of questions, I pay particular attention to intra-household dynamics and the social environment.
In a sense, the questions that drive my research are the methodological needs of applied researchers. They will have data sets they know they want to analyze. They are going to have an economic research question, which they can clearly specify, but sometimes the tool, the algorithm that's going to take the data and spit out exactly the answer that they need does not exist. And so what drives my research is precisely this need from the applied researchers for a tool that does not yet exist, that you have to sort of invent, and then prove that it works and deliver this tool to them.
When we ask these questions, we immediately hit a data constraint. In particular, we don't really see how households make decisions, and we don't know what individuals' preferences are or their beliefs. And so in my work, I combine tools from economic and econometric theory with experimental and quasi-experimental empirical methods to bridge these gaps, overcome these limitations, and ultimately unveil these underlying mechanisms.
The work we do to develop more robust, more reliable data analysis algorithms makes it such that when the applied researchers use their algorithms, the numbers that come out telling you that this policy did or did not work, telling you that this drug did or did not work, are more reliable. And so at the end of the day, you're reading numbers in newspapers that you can trust more. You're going to have policymakers who have access to empirical analysis that they can trust more to make policy decisions.
So from a policy perspective, sometimes interventions might fail because policymakers do not take into account the environment in which people make decisions. And so by linking individual preferences and beliefs with the environment in which individuals make decisions, I'm trying to help policymakers take more informed decisions and design policies that might be more successful.
There are many heuristics that applied researchers will do, and they're ad hoc methods. So placebo test is a good example, but oftentimes methods that seem appealing are not valid, and not only are they not valid, but they lead to misleading conclusions. And a lot of the work now has been trying to identify which of these popular methods are invalid and misleading, and providing guidelines for how to do a correct version that gives correct conclusions and allows these applied researchers to make useful policy recommendations.
I started studying intra-household dynamics and their effects on people's life when I realized that they might drive individual survival. In grad school, I showed that part of excess female mortality in India at post-reproductive ages might actually be driven by the fact that older women in India receive a smaller fraction of the household budget, and this translates in higher mortality rates for them.
On the one hand, there's the more kind of nerdy part of me that was always very fascinated with how the structure of data was reflected in the abstract mathematics we use to explain them, and vice versa. And on the other hand, I was also completely fascinated by how much information structure we could get out about the world just from data using these tools, using these algorithms.
So if we think about how individuals and households make decisions, clearly we see that these might have broader impacts on social inequalities. And so by understanding better how these decisions are made and how social norms and the social environments shape these decisions, I want to help reducing these social inequalities.
You have all these researchers who have clear applied agenda, and they need tools to extract the answers that they need from the data that they have. And this is where I come in. This is where econometricians and statisticians more generally come in to develop algorithms, statistical packages that will extract the information that they want from the data that they have, while also providing guarantees that the algorithms that we're giving them are extracting that information.
Looking ahead, I really would like to expand this type of research into other areas. I want to better understand, for example, the role of social norms in shaping land titling decisions to sons and daughters in Senegal. And also, I want to understand what drives investment in education for girls in contexts like Pakistan. And overall, I want to continue try to understand how people and families make decisions in order to reduce poverty and inequality in the world.
In a sense, as I advance in my career, I'm moving back to more fundamental methods and trying to produce more robust versions of these so that these tools that are so often used can produce numbers that are more reliable.